You are not going to believe what we just found in the trunk of the Cutlass. We had a ton of you guys say that y'all wanted to see more of the Cutlass. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna take a few minutes and show you guys around the car. My buddy Riggs, who has the tow truck company that picked this rig up, coined it the Gray Ghost. And it's such a fitting name that I think that's gonna stick. I know a couple of you guys thought the car was originally white. It's actually not, it's primer. I know the video can kind of make it hard to see, but the whole car has been dressed in primer. Obviously getting ready for paint. This stuff was done, you know, quite some time ago, and it would need to get redone if it was getting prepped for paint, just because time has done its fair share of damage. Obviously, you know, there's a couple things that need to get done as far as like the body goes, between gaps and the fenders and the doors. The most important thing is the rust. If there was any, it appears to be taken care of. You know, usually if you have rust on these, I'll show you, they'll rust out right in here. And then same thing like with the Novas and everything else there. There might be some Bondo, you know, in it. I can almost guarantee you that there's going to be Bondo in this car. But, you know, I didn't get it, you know, expecting it was going to be a show car, right? When the car popped up, I've always wanted a T-top G-body. You know, I've had a handful of G-bodies, but never a T-top car. So, the fact that it was a T-top, you know, Cutlass, and, you know, it had a hot engine in it, that was a winner for me. But I will say, for an old car, an old G-body, check this out. This thing's an 87. The door shuts pretty good. This car is an 87, which means it has this particular front end on it, which they refer to commonly as the Euro front end, which means you have the one-piece composite headlight, and as opposed to the four dual actual single square headlights on the front end. I'll be honest, guys, I for a long time preferred the four headlight version. The European look is slick, and you know, a lot of the Monte guys, you know, the guys with the Monte Carlos, they really prefer this front end. And at first I wasn't a big fan of this, just because I feel like the four headlight front end just looks a little bit tougher, a little bit beefier. But I will say, it's growing on me. You know, originally I was planning on swapping this back out to like a, you know, an 86 or earlier front end, just because I really prefer that style. But I don't know, after staring at this thing and looking at it, it looks pretty slick. Which ones do you prefer? Do you like the four headlight ones or the Euro front end? Let me know in the comments. Show you guys the interior on this thing. Nothing is bolted down. Go ahead and get adjusted in my 6-way manual reclining seat here. And actually, this is kind of comfy. I don't think I'm going to bolt the seats down. Just let them lay like that. If I wasn't 5'6", guys, I might be able to drive like this, but I am unfortunately short. So here's the interior of the car. Ultimately, the interior's pretty bad. We got wires hanging everywhere. The dash is absolutely smoked. The door panels are in the trunk. They're not in any better shape than the rest of the car. But I will say, minus a couple like plastic pieces around the T-tops, for the most part, it's all here. The interior is definitely a project all on its own, right? The main thing I want to talk about, though, is this blue carpet. I don't know if it was something that, you know, they were gonna like redo the whole interior in this blue, but man, that is blue. It's got a really cool TCI shifter in it. I want to say that these cars would have had a console from the factory. I really want to say that they do. I know that the earlier ones in the early 80s, you know, I think 83, 84, they had the Hurst Olds, which that was definitely a console, and you would have this badass lightning rod shifter, which I'll show you guys a picture of that. Funny story about that: when I was a kid, there was a guy that had a Firebird Trans Am, second gen Firebird Trans Am with those Hurst lightning rod shifters in it, and he took me for a ride in that thing, and it was all sorts of built and hot, and it absolutely scared the crap out of me. And ever since that moment, I've always wanted a set of those shifters because I thought it was so badass just banging the different shifters, you know, and seeing the three shift levels there. So I would like to try to track down a set of lightning rod shifters for this thing, just because I think it's, you know, sick. I will show you a cool thing about these cars is that on the 442s, they had this dash, and they called that the rally clusters. So you had those 4 little pods that gave you temp, oil pressure, gas, and voltage there on the dash. Now, it is not, you know, as sick as like a digital dash that you get in like a GTA Trans Am or a GNX or anything like that, but it's just kind of cool to see the different, you know, funny little dashes, you know, from the 80s. Everybody had their own little twist of what was neat. All right, I know you guys have been patient. You're probably thinking, damn it, show us what's in the trunk. We want to see what's in the trunk. You guys ready for this? Really, it was a surprise for me because you go in a trunk that you've never opened in a car that's been sitting forever. There could be dead animals. I found a dead fish in a Mustang one time. There could be all sorts of different things, but there's nothing bad in it. It's just really, 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 really cool. Guys, look at this. This car at one point in time was purple. Look at that. Is that color sick or what? Yeah, we got the door panels and we got some parts and stuff, and look, it's not, you know, no rust or anything, but guys, it's purple. Do you see the purple paint? This guy went to the body shop and said, hey, make my car look like Grimace. Now, there's a ton of red flake in this too, which is pretty sick. I'm gonna turn the flash on to see if I can get a better shot at it for you guys. Even looks like it has some like hints of blue depending on how the light hits it. Fun fact, I can tell you guys now that this deck lid here is not from this car. And it's not because it's purple. The whole car, judging by the jams, was purple at some point. It's actually by this sticker here, which is the RPO codes, and it also has the VIN on it. Now, this VIN doesn't match the VIN that we have on the cowl panel. And I noticed just looking at it, not that I had the VIN memorized, but that the VIN starts with a 2. With all VINs on cars, usually a GM VIN would be 1G, which would be 1 General Motors, but the 1 stands for United States. This one starts with a 2, which means it's from Canada. 3 would be from Mexico, and then now they're even using 4 and 5, which actually means US. So 1, if it starts with a 1, the car is from the United States. If it starts with a 2, it's from Canada. And if it starts with a 3, it's from Mexico. All of these codes are different options that the vehicle that this would be affixed to would have had. Each one of these things has a different meaning, whether it's the gear ratio, the engine, down to the seats and the paint color. Hey man, you got any mice, anything in here, man? No? Okay. Toodaloo, motherfucker. We got what's left of our door panels in here. They have a pretty sick 442 badge on there. Our power switches, and there might be another door panel back there, I see, yeah. They definitely need some love, but they might be able to be saved or reused, or we might just put a piece of sheet metal for the door panels. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have had it purple either. I kind of like the primer, you know, the ratty, you know, dumpster muscle look, but the purple's kind of a vibe. Well, guys, that's it for now on the Gray Ghost. What are your thoughts? Would you swap this front end out for the 4 headlight earlier version? Would you paint it back purple? You know, the possibilities really are endless. It is in such a weird spot of, you know, being almost, you know, kind of a complete car and still needing a ton of work to where, you know, it can really go in any direction. What are your thoughts on it, guys? What would you do if this was your car? Let me know. And if you guys have any cool ideas, who knows? We might just wind up having to do it. Anyway, stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.